Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to XCOM 2, shall we? So we finished our first real mission, we're back at the base, and they want us to go to the engineering bay, which is highlighted down here. You can see Shen working away. So I'll just click on engineering at the bottom center of the heads-up display, see what she wants.
Okay, reworked your repulsors with some of the parts I salvaged from their old engine. Should fix that stabilization problem you had. Come on, Rover. It'll work. Commander! Getting our tech to talk to theirs is harder than you'd think. Lily Shen, Chief Engineer, at your service. You were probably expecting to see my father. In all that's happened, I'm guessing Central didn't tell you yet. He's gone. Dad gave everything he had to get us this far. This entire ship is his life's work. I know he would have loved to show you around the place himself. He used to talk about you a lot. You can be sure I'm ready to finish what he started. Might not look it, but from here, I can fabricate pretty much anything you come up with. And with a little more help, well, you'd be amazed with what I can do. It was an honor to finally meet you, Commander. I can't promise any miracles, Commander, but I should be able to put some of this stuff together in no time at all. I'd suggest we get started with a med kit. It'll probably come in handy sooner rather than later.
So that's the kind of story intro to engineering, and research is where you take the technology that you discover and open up new possibilities with it. And engineering is where you turn those theoretical possibilities into reality by actually building guns, armor, or consumable items such as these. So the medkit is the only thing we could build right now, and you see how it just says insta-build. It costs 35 supplies. Now in the upper right you see our currencies. This tells us how many engineers we have. She doesn't count. This is additional beyond her. How many alloys we have, how much Illyrium we have, how many supplies, and then how many supplies per month or per check from the committee that we get. Now we'll look at the committee, but basically there's this global group that is supporting XCOM and will pay you supplies, which is equivalent to money in this game. And you get more money based on how many nations or entities are still alive and supporting XCOM, your performance, and other bonuses. So right now we get 175 every time they check on us, provided we maintain a good level of power and don't let the aliens take over any cities or cause too much damage. And we spend 35 of our 175 on this med kit, so I'm going to click on it.
I'm on it, Commander.
Looks like Tygan has made progress on his research. We should meet him in the lab.
Commander, to the research labs.
Okay, so now the research that we had started before the mission is done, so I'll click on the research tab, go talk to Tygan.
So much of my own research based upon this simple design. If only I had known. Commander, excellent timing. There's been some progress. I've managed to break down several key components of the chip implanted into your skull. My analysis reveals that its primary function was that of a conduit, passing a vast amount of data directly to your cerebral cortex. With the primary connection severed, much of that data is lost. Several fragments do remain, however. Ghosts, if you will. Observe. Tactical combat simulations. War games. The sheer volume of encounters you were processing was astounding. It is truly remarkable that you survived as long as you did. Though this may seem disconcerting, there is still some good news. This chip bears a striking resemblance to a medical implant I briefly assisted in developing at the gene therapy clinic in New Providence. My understanding was that the implants were intended for high-ranking Advent officers only, captains or above. Retrieving a chip from such an officer would be the only way to know for certain. A greater understanding of these implants would undoubtedly benefit us all, Commander.
New objective added.
So as you progress in the main story, there will be new objectives that emerge that you can do to further progress the main story quest, like this one, for example, which is for examining an Advent officer's corpse, which isn't too bad, and we can do that as long as we complete this research.
The Advent officers have clearly been modified to allow for their subordinates to receive new orders psionically. The implanted chip is the key.
So because we researched this alien biotech, we can now build an infirmary, we can now do an autopsy on a sectoid, and we can do that Advent officer autopsy as well. So this text right here is optional, but I recommend, if this is your first time playing XCOM, read all of this to give you better context and lore than the cutscenes provide. This is just like further information about the story, how things have progressed since the first XCOM, and what has changed. So now I can do some research, and I could research any of these. The game wants us, in terms of progressing the story, to do the Advent officer corpse research, and that's totally fine. But you can also research hybrid materials or modular weapons. Now, hybrid materials costs 2 Advent Trooper corpses, so you have to have 2 Advent Trooper corpses on hand to be able to perform this research. And they'll always tell you if there's a cost, whereas modular weapons doesn't have a cost beyond time. And all of these are taking 3 days, except for experimental weapons, which is going to take 10 days. We can reduce this cost if we get more scientists and other upgrades, but now this is where we're at. Now, you could just go ahead and do the Advent officer autopsy, and that's totally fine. But I'm going to go ahead and just jump into modular weapons. Both of these are great. Armor is great, and weapons are great. Armor is amazing for keeping your troops alive longer, which is super important. And weapons are great for just doing more damage with your turns, and they both help keep you alive. So I'm just going to start with weapons. You can do whatever you want, though.
I do find that area of research to be among the more intriguing options available. We'll begin work immediately. I'll send word when a complete report is available.
Now, I will say...
Looks like Shen got that converter up and running, Commander. We're ready for you on the bridge.
Okay, so right now there's still...
Commander, to the bridge.
Oh boy. Very much holding our hand and telling us what to do. And this is because there are so many options within the ship of things that you can do after battle that they want to just guide you, at least at first, to give you a sense of how to bounce around between these different facilities. I will tell you that I didn't pick researching, and you can, at any time you can click change research, and you can click something else if you want. The star is inside this hexagon is like what the main quest is locked behind. There is no time limit on this game, so you don't have to do this with any certain time. But there are some options where once you do them, you will unlock new content in the game that can make things difficult for us. Right now, that's not available, but I will tell you when we want to kind of pump the brakes and do other things before we push on with the main story. That's at least in my opinion. You can, of course, go further if you want, but I think it's better to just level up and get your team ready before you push the game, because it will make everything harder once you get past certain thresholds. So I'm going to keep the research where it is, and they want us to go over to the bridge, but really they want us to go to the armory. So you could see there's the hex down here with the exclamation point, so I'm going to click on the armory.
Commander, to the bridge.
And, oh, okay, never mind. They do want us to go to the bridge. This is where we can actually view our soldiers and assign the promotions and stuff, and we'll do that in a moment. My fault. I'm going to go, you can click escape, or you can just push this back button to go here, and then both of these are highlighted, which is what they want. But let's just stop them from yelling at us and go to the bridge.
Just stay clear of the perimeter, understood? Commander, good. I think we got something here. Despite all of Advent's efforts, there are still people who refuse to believe their lies. And it's time we let them know they're not alone. We've already located a target for our first operation.
Sir, given our current location, there's actually no way the Sky Ranger could reach that position.
Who said anything about the Sky Ranger? Shen, status report. Are we ready?
Short answer, yes. But you might all want to hold on to something.
So this is them demonstrating that our entire base is like in the Avengers, or the Avengers actually copied this idea, at least in the movies, if you know what I mean, is mobile.
Setting course for East Asia.
We're ready to start making moves, Commander. By hitting Advent wherever we find them, we can help strengthen the resistance. In return, they'll contribute material and personnel to support our operations.
Okay, so what they're telling us is that we get access at this point to the geoscape, and it's going to look a lot different to XCOM, and this is just a world map where we are going to have options every so often that we can do that will take time, and there isn't enough time to do everything, so we get to kind of pick and choose where we want to go. So right now there's this guerrilla ops target that has been opened up, and we can just click review target, and right here there's a mission in East Asia which is called Operation Forgotten Moon, and it says hack the hidden resistance computer. It's easy difficulty, and we will get an extra engineer if we do this. Remember how there's the count for like engineers and scientists? We will get Dr. Susan Alexander if we complete this mission, and we can then assign that engineer to different duties on the ship, which could potentially make researching or producing materials faster, or opening new rooms faster. So we'll look at that in a moment. And this is where we can go, so we can confirm the target site.
Commander, it looks like Shen prepped a med kit for us. We should equip one of our soldiers with it before they deploy.
Now, they want us to equip a med kit to our soldiers, and we can do that, but before we do anything, we are going to be promoting the soldiers that are available to promote. Now, I didn't promote them at the end of the last episode because it was going to take too long. You can promote them here, or you can promote them in the armory, and at this stage either is fine, but soon we're going to get the capability of guiding our promotions more directly, and we will not want to ever promote them here. We will always want to promote them in the armory. Now notice how this position, we had another person we can actually promote, but they are not on the mission with us because they were injured. So the person who was hurt is not coming on the mission because they have to rest and recover. And we have this person over here who is a new trooper, Green, a rookie, and you can see he's got his full stamina bar, whereas everybody else is a little bit fatigued because they've been on a mission. Now, where the grenades are for everybody, it's telling me, hey, click on the grenade and change it to a med kit, because they want us to they want to show us how we can change our loadout. And that's fine. So one of our people has a med kit. I'm actually not going to bring a med kit. I'm going to bring a frag grenade instead. And I'm going to then go back by pushing escape. And now I'm going to do the mission. It really doesn't want you to do it unless you go through the business of equipping the med kit. But I'd rather have grenades with everybody myself. And then we're going to promote people and go into the attack phase of this mission. So we've got two soldiers, they're both rookies, and I'm going to click promote on the first one right here. So let's go ahead and do that. It's the top part of the tab.
As our demolitions experts, the Grenadiers provide heavy ordnance delivery whenever and wherever we need it.
Okay, so she went from rookie to Grenadier. Regardless of the specialization that you get, it's better to be promoted than not. So she goes into being a grenadier, which is, we don't have a heavy, now we do. And they get the ability to launch grenades. This is fantastic because you get greater range and grenade capacity. Carry on. Now, we'll say this. Grenades are one of my favorite things in XCOM 2 because they have a 100% chance to hit if you can get it into the area of influence that will affect one of the enemies. That, however, there are some chosen abilities that make it so explosions don't work 100% of the time. So not all the time, but most of the time it's 100%. However, the drawback to grenades, besides the short range, the limited quantity, is that when you damage stuff with explosives, you have less of a chance of salvaging materials and corpses and things for research. So if you kill things with non-explosive weapons, you get more stuff, effectively. So there is that element. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and the cons. I tell you what, though, I blow everything up, when I can. If I'm trying to capture an alien live or do something really specific like that, I will avoid that, and I will be more careful. But most of the time, I really like grenades. The heavy also, in addition to just having a grenade launcher, they have, as you can see, like this chain gun, and this thing does all kinds of damage and is not explosive. So once you get to a level up screen, you will see that we don't have any choices right here. But once we level up again, you get this kind of like skill tree, and you can go to the left or to the right, and you can bounce back and forth to the left and the right however you want. And then with War of the Chosen, later as we get into the game, at least I think it's exclusive to War of the Chosen. It might be just part of the XCOM 2 base game. A lot of the time I'm going to give instructions and directives, and I'm not sure what's part of XCOM 2 base and what's exclusive to War of the Chosen because I've never played XCOM 2 without the Collector's Edition, which includes both games. So anyway, what I mean to say is eventually we will get the technology in our base to be able to get all of these abilities. We can go back and get an ability even on the same line. It doesn't lock us out of it once we get further into the game if we're interested. Now, right now, once you go to the first round, you don't really get a choice. You just get this promotion up here, and then soon we will then be making a choice down the tree as we go up the rankings from Squatty to Corporal, Sergeant, Lieutenant, Captain, Major, and then Colonel. So right now, here's all of our soldiers' stats. You can see that, we don't have a PCS, which is kind of like a personal mod chip that you install. This is our health, this is our mobility, this is our aim. This is very, very important for soldiers that you want to care about. This is our will, which is kind of like how we're psychologically dealing with the horrors of being, fighting aliens and such. This is how good we are at hacking. Our armor, we don't have any armor right now, we got to get some, and our dodge. And our combat intelligence is genius, which is really, really nice, and we don't have a soldier bond at the moment. So I'm going to then push back. She's been promoted. She's a squatty. She's got her gun. You can see her loadout immediately changes. And by the way, in addition, let me kind of go back to her really fast and show you. Let's see. Does it tell you? Yeah. Right here it says it on the launch grenade soldier ability. So it allows for greater range and grenade capacity, which if I go back, you can see on her card here, she now has 2 grenades that she can carry into combat. So what we might want to do is give her a med kit because she can carry an extra slot, but I'm still not going to do that. On these early missions with troops that I don't care as much about, the med kit is less important to me personally. But if you have troops that you really don't want to die and you're concerned about that, then the med kit becomes more valuable. Now let me promote this person over here, Hall. See what we get.
Some of our
Nice.
most advanced equipment. Specialists deploy robotic drones on the battlefield that can be outfitted for combat or field medic duty.
So we got a specialist. Specialist is really cool. They're like a support unit, and they use the rifle just fine, but they have this like drone that goes with them, the Gremlin, and you can move toward. Right now, we just have aid protocol and hack, which lets us move toward friendly unit and give them a defensive bonus. But the real cool thing is that you have Hack, which allows you to remotely breach security with your gremlin. This thing becomes fantastic later, and I like this type of unit, the engineer, quite a bit. The specialist, rather. And you can see he has slightly better aim, but his will is down significantly because of the last battle. So you got to keep an eye on that. You see how high his hack is? It went to 50 compared to the other hack on the previous soldier, which was 5, because they're not trained at this. His combat intelligence is only standard compared to the genius, so he will advance a little bit slower. But we do get aid protocol, and we have this little guy that goes with us, and we're doing great. So at this point, we don't really have anything else to equip with our people, so I think it's time for us to just launch the mission.
Sky Ranger deployed.
The squad is ready to deploy on your order, Commander.
All right, Operation Forgotten Moon, here we come.
We got a tip from a Resistance hacker operating out of this area. Apparently he gained access to the Advent network nearby right before alien reinforcements hit. It sounds like he may have had a lead on data critical to the latest alien operation, but we'll have to move quickly if we're going to recover it. Secure the area and hack in before Advent shuts down the connection. We need to seize control of that data if we're going to have any chance of stopping their progress.
All right.
Menace 1-5, this is Avenger. The access point we're after is just ahead. Move to secure the area. Expect hostile resistance.
Okay, so they are now explaining the target preview, which we've talked about before, which allows you to move to a point and then hold left Alt to see what would be visible once you move to that location, and the different color coding for, like, I have line of fire, I don't see them, and they are going to be flanked. Okay, now this is a different type of mission. We have 7 turns, and we need to get to this point to use this computer. So it's similar, sort of, to the previous mission. You're timed, you have to get to a point, but things are going to change once we get there. We have concealment, so we can go ahead and move. We can look around and just see, you know, what's going on, but we want to stay stealth as much as possible so that we can cover ground on this mission and get to that computer. So I'm going to... They want me to use Owen right now, who's our squaddie. But I'm actually just going to push tab until I get to Jane, because Jane can, you know, move so far, and we want her to be up close and personal if she sees anything. So I'm going to only move her once. A lot of the times I don't like to double move. I like to single move to reveal the map before I make a decision. I double move after I've explored the map and I know that it's safe to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and just move Jane down here into partial cover and see if we can scope anything new from this position. And from here, we don't see anything new. We're in a subway. We see this subway car. By the way, a lot of these maps are completely randomized, so some of them are fixed, and some of them you'll just notice it's different from you in some way. So don't be alarmed if my map isn't exactly the same as what you got. All right, I'm going to go ahead then and move. Owen is here. Let me actually move my specialist down. And I'm going to move the specialist over here.
On my way.
Okay. And we still don't see anything. So I'm going to double move my specialist now and put the specialist right here behind full cover.
Move into designated position.
Now, I've done this because it will take away his turn. He won't be able to do anything. I don't want to do it with Jane because she's got the melee attack, so if we did find something, it's possible that she could just walk up and kill it with her sword. And now if I would have revealed something, it would have changed the way that I went about moving these two units up here. But because we don't see anything, I'm just going to start full moving people to this concealed and fortified position. I'm taking a pretty direct route to this. Notice how you could go up this way if you want. The boundary here doesn't allow us to go anywhere else. So there's really just this passage or this passage to get here. And we're going to probably be moving through or over top of this subway car. We can bash through the windows of this thing to get through it more easily, but that will alert things. But we could also climb over top of it and then just climb or jump down the other side, which would be quieter, which is probably what we'll do. So we're going to take Jane here and move... no, I want to move Cynthia. And I'm going to move Cynthia... we're not doing Overwatch, so I'm just moving her into a safe spot. On a timed mission, I don't use Overwatch if I can't see the enemy. Unless I have reason to be very suspicious of their movement. So I'm going to go ahead and move right here.
Orders confirmed.
And we're just going to finish the turn. Now it's their turn. Okay. So I can now... oh, actually, you know what's cool? We can open this door. So we don't have to actually break through the glass. That is an option, but we could move up and just open the door. However, you'll see that we get that red eye icon, meaning like there are certain activities that we can take that will break concealment. So opening this door might be really loud and forceful, and so would be breaking through the glass. But instead, what we could do is we could just, move here. Now, what they're telling us is that something through the window of this train car can potentially see us. If I go to the target preview, I actually can't see anything, but they're warning us that we could potentially break concealment by moving here. So what I'm going to do is actually move Owen full move for just one turn to right here and see if we can spy anything.
Designated coordinates.
Okay, I still don't see anything. So we need to get all the way over here. I will move actually up top right here.
Position confirmed.
And we still see nothing. So that means I'm going to just keep double moving and just trying to stay out of sight, be quiet, but make good progress. I could move all the way up here, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to instead just kind of start moving people like this. And this is a pretty far reach.
Got it covered.
Hopefully we don't reveal our position. Now we still don't see anything. Alright, how far can you move? Alright, she can move all the way up here.
Already there.
I'm just moving where I'm still in cover. And I'm going on top of the train.
Got movement here.
Now, we can't see them, but we know a little bit better that, oh, there's somebody down there. And we spotted a flanked enemy. And they saw us, and so we are no longer concealed. So unfortunately, they know where we are. But they didn't get to take a move against us. So we need to, as our objectives in the upper left say, we need to neutralize all targets and download the decryption algorithms from the exposed access point. So we got to take down these dudes. They know where we are, which is sad. So concealment's gone, but they didn't get to take a free shot at us. So this worked out just fine. It could have been much worse. And I'm going to tab over to Jane, because I want Jane to go down here and attack this sectoid right here. She should be able to just get a free shot on this guy. Like so, if I push number 3, I'm going to have an 88% chance to wreck this guy, and I'm going to take the chance. So she drops down and says hi, and they have melee vulnerability, the sectoids, so they took extra damage from that and guaranteed the kill. Now she's done, and she's safe from things on the other side of the train, but not safe from this regular Advent unit. Now luckily this guy is a joke. He only has 3 hit points, so we should be able to wreck him, but we do need to be aware of this. Now I'm going to go ahead with Charlie and see if Charlie can just take a fire here. This is a pretty good chance to hit. It's not great. I wish it were better. What is stopping you right now? Oh, he's in high cover. That's what's really killing us. I didn't think that he would get high cover from my position, but what we can do is we can, So if I move here, you see how the icon is red, but if I move over here, the icon turns yellow. That means if I move here and shoot, he is no longer getting the benefit of the high cover. So I'm going to walk right over here. And hopefully I don't see any new units. I'm going to kind of move the map a little bit. And I see the computer, but I don't see any units over there, which is pretty fortunate. And then now I'm going to fire, and you see I have a 100% chance to hit this guy because he's just completely exposed. We got a crit, we blew him away. He actually dropped some treasure. So I'm going to see if anybody can get there, and they can. So I'm going to move right here and pick up the loot with our squaddy. And he's going to go ahead and get this, and we got a scope and a PCS focus. We got 2 pieces of loot, which is awesome. All right, and then Cynthia, we're just going to try to set up with her. Now, I can move right here, which is a pretty good spot, but I don't want to reveal a pod. There are things in XCOM, in both games of the reboots, they're called pods, and they're kind of like groups of enemies that go together on the map. And if you reveal them, all of those enemies become alerted, and they kind of add into the fight. But until they're revealed, or they are on patrol and they find you, you don't have to worry about them. So because I've revealed nothing right now, I'm just going to keep with that. I'm actually going to move this unit here, and I am going to put them on Overwatch now that we've been revealed. And I'm just going to end the turn right here on Overwatch. Look at those bats. Yikes. So nothing new happened, which is tremendous. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to Jane. Actually, you know what? Charlie's got the best movement. So let's move Charlie. Yeah, this is the best square to move to. He's got lots of cover, but he will get good visibility. So let's see what we can find out. Okay. So there's 2 baddies right there. And they totally see us. So they have moved into cover as a response. But we aren't worried about that. Now, why aren't we worried about that? Well, because our guy is in great position, and we can just throw grenades. So something you'll notice that the AI is tremendously strong at in this game is avoiding putting more than one unit into the range of a grenade unless they've been revealed. So I'm just going to throw my grenade right here, and this will kill this guy. He has no chance. So that guy's gone. And now we need to figure out, is there a way for us to get a shot on this guy? So can I move Jane into a position where she can maybe throw a grenade in there? If I'm here, this guy can't see me, and I can maybe get a grenade in there, but I don't know how likely that is. I do not have the ability with Jane to move and hit with the sword, so I'm just going to try to move down here and see if this does anything good for us. She's bursting through the glass. It's amazing. And then let's throw a grenade. And we can't really get a grenade around the corner because this wall is in the way. So that is sad, but that's the truth. So I tried it, but we don't have a good angle. So we're going to select somebody else. And Owen Green. Let's use our target preview. Is there any place that you can go and you can see the bad guy? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him all the way here. We're going to just take it nice and cautiously. And if I threw a grenade, could I get one over there? No, not really. close, but not close enough. Sometimes you can bounce a grenade. You can see the blue line, like showing that it will bounce to get it to go a little bit further, but in this case, we still can't get there. So let me try my final unit, which is Cynthia. And let's just see are there any places, Cynthia, where I can move you where you can see? I'm going to move Cynthia over here. This is probably not going to work, but she does have a grenade launcher. So if I tried to fire the frag grenade, could I get it here? I can't get it here. I can get it. You see how I can get it like pretty close. You can kind of massage this and just move the mouse around to see where you can get it. And that's about as close as I can get. So it's not good enough. So I'm going to put everybody on Overwatch in their positions. And this guy should have a hard time moving around to hit us. Right, so it'll trigger Overwatch if he does try to move. Oh, and she tagged him. Oh, she took him down in one shot. And she just got promoted for that awesome shot because she deserves a promotion for that awesome shot. That was sweet. So now the enemies are pretty much neutralized that we can see, and we need to get to the terminal. We have 3 turns to do that. But it's going to be much safer now that everything has been neutralized. And that's the benefit of just like, we moved into a position where they couldn't see us and we just went on Overwatch. She wasn't in great cover, but I knew that if this guy tried to move to retreat to better cover, he'd get tagged. Take a look at that propaganda poster for XCOM down here, by the way. So good. So now that all the baddies that we can see are taken down, and all priority has to be to get to this computer. So let's see who is the closest, and it looks like it is Charlie. So I want to move in here, and I can actually move Charlie to the square. The unfortunate thing is Charlie is unable to move and then do the action all in the same turn. So what I'm going to do is move the guy over here.
Position confirmed.
There's fire right there, but the square is okay.
Objective sighted.
Now, check this out, though.
Confirmation of the exposed access point.
This is what's cool about having a specialist. So, this fire right here is environmental. It's not going to damage us. If it were going to damage us on the tile we move to, the game would tell us that would happen. But look right now, you see the specialist has this drone, and we know that we got the aid protocol, but also the hack ability. The hack ability does not become something that goes onto the heads-up display at the bottom as an option unless there is a hackable interface that is within your field of view, and that you can act on it. So you see in the bottom left, there is this icon here for our drone, and then here we can see that this hack, this ones and zeros IO kind of panel appears, and we can actually take hack workstation remotely with a specialist. So if you're ever doing a mission that has hacking as a part of it, you really want to bring the appropriate personnel, which in this case is the specialist. And I just have to push 3. The game will target the only available workstation, which is here, and I'm going to go for it with my gremlin. I'm going to hack it. Okay, so we bring up the hacking screen, and this gives us an option where 100% of the time we will breach the network, which is what we want. Now, we get to choose our rewards. Both of these have no fail effect, so there's no negative if we miss. This one's really easy, and it says average scanning times reduced by 50% for 4 weeks, which is amazing. This delays the current Dark Event project by 2 weeks. Now, the Dark Event is not an issue at the very beginning of the game, so we're going to go for the easier one, which is 48%. I don't even know if the Dark Event is happening right now. It's been so long since I've played the beginning of the game, but either way, it's either happening or it's not even built yet and not even started, so we don't have to worry about this. We're going to do satellite data and begin the hack, and we're just going to see if we can, roll nicely with this, and we did. We actually rolled well enough to get priority data, but in this case, we get average scanner times reduced by 50% for 4 weeks. Now, this is amazing, and we'll explain why this is amazing later when we get to looking at the world map and doing something like scanning, but that's fantastic. So we're just going to push any key to continue. And we also hacked the workstation.
Good to go.
So what does this do? We shut it down.
We've confirmed successful acquisition of the Advent files. Eliminate any remaining hostiles in the area.
Now, what happens when you do that is that either there was a cell, like a pod of enemies over here already, or they only turn on after you hack this. But another reason why I would like using the engineer in this case, remember, first, we didn't leave them exposed. You never, even when you're trying to move, I still prioritize moving into cover unless I'm guaranteed that there's no enemies. So he's in a reasonable cover position. But we heard that there's enemies over here. And we still have plenty of people to act with. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move all the way up here with Jane. See if I can see the enemies that we know are over here. And we still can't. So that's upsetting, but it's not really the end of the world. I'm going to... Now this, Owen, I'd like to try to set Owen up for an Overwatch, but I just don't have a good angle if the enemies are coming from this alley over here. So I'm indeed going to double move Owen all the way up here to full cover. And I'm going to have Cynthia... the heavies don't move that well, generally. And she's up high. So I'm going to kind of have her... move. This is a better square to move, but it does put her in potential harm's way. I'm going to move here.
On the move.
So all of my people have done every action except Jane, who I'll put into Overwatch. Now that there is no turn counter, I'm much more accepting of just kind of taking our time. And so I'll Overwatch. And let's see, they spotted them. Here they are. They're up high. So this is unfortunate, but here they come.
Getting a little too warm over here.
Okay. And now we know where they are. Now this is cool because we can look at them and we see that they're chilling. This guy's behind this pillar and this regular dude is here. So this guy's much harder. But luckily... okay, this pipe that was on fire, this will happen periodically with things that are burning, is that they just break. So you heard the crashing sound. That was this pipe, like, just exploding, basically, but it didn't do any, like, explosion damage to our character who was standing close by. It just removed the cover. But luckily, the way that the sequencing worked, this enemy was revealed, but they were only able to move and scramble and not, like, attack us in that round. So, what do we want to do here with Owen? I could move Owen, for example, to full cover over here, and I would have a shot on both guys. But I could also... oh, I'm looking at the wrong character. Let me see... Here we go. Charlie. Charlie already has a shot. Charlie no longer has a grenade. We have 3 shots left. If I move here, I have a shot. At the current position, I have a 60% chance, actually, of hitting, which is pretty good. But I'm going to get a little bit closer. I don't think I can move to a position that would give me flanking on any of these targets. Actually, if I move here, I would have flanking on this unit. Now, notice how in the bottom center of the HUD, there are different icons for the types of units. You're just going to have to learn which icon corresponds to each target. Like, in this case, the sectoid is very obviously the red alien head, and the Advent guy is like the soldier with the helmet. But sometimes it's less obvious, and you just kind of have to suss it out. I could move here and take a 100% shot on this guy, which is very tempting, but we need to take down this dude over here first to make sure that we are in no danger. So can I get a shot? If I move Jane over here, I have no... I'll move her here.
Heading out.
Now we can see the sectoid, and I can throw a grenade and this will hit the sectoid here and destroy or at least damage that pillar if it's able to be damaged. I could also try to take a shot, but it's only a 26% chance with the shotgun because the enemy is in high cover and I'm pretty far away. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw the grenade, get the guaranteed shot on this dude. Alright, so actually, we blew up the cover. So you can see the shield is empty, the cover is gone. This guy took 4 damage. Because blowing up this cover actually caused like an explosion. So that's fantastic for us because it gives us an opportunity to just move over here and the sectoid is just completely exposed. So if I were to move all the way into here with my heavy, I can then go ahead and just take a shot at the sectoid. It's 72% chance. Okay, reasonable. Or I could launch my frag grenade and have an 100% chance and maybe kill it right here. So I'm going to do this. So she's going to shoot a grenade. Remember, you get bonus distance, and it did not kill it. It took it to 1, which is sad, but check this out, not the worst, because we still have Owen, who has a grenade. So I'm just going to roll Owen in to... let me make sure that this guy can move here and get the... Yep. I'm going to move Owen right here.
How did I know?
And again, I could shoot and have 72%, which is pretty good, or I could just use a grenade and have a 100% chance to blow this guy away. I already have a sectoid corpse. I'm not worried about losing any loot from blowing that up. I'm not capturing it live. That guy just got promoted. And I'm now going to move right here with Charlie and just take a shot. Oh, it's not 100%. Okay. So hopefully we win. We did. So we only had 84% chance. There was a little bit of a miss.
All hostiles are down and the area is secure.
That's right.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
So that was a flawless mission because we didn't even get hurt or killed. We killed all of the bad guys. We're going to take a sweet photo. Look at this photo. This guy's got his hands on his hips. Victory for XCOM. Victory for Earth. You darn right. Take that picture. Get it down. Continue. Continue. That was awesome.
Advent officials announced an increase to this month's recruitment quotas. Citizens are encouraged to voluntarily visit their nearest recruitment center.
Uh-huh.
Remember, only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Indeed. Let's go.
We're taking Advent apart one mission at a time, Commander. Impressive work.
So even Jane Kelly got promoted, but you could see she's now tired, which is why her fatigue bar is yellow. Everybody there just about got promoted, which is sensational. The bonds are building. That's what this kind of like handshake relationship thing means. And we're rocking and rolling. We also captured this scope as an item. This is just something you can equip on your weapon to give you +5 aim percent, which is sick. This is this gives you +6 will, which is fantastic to resist panic and psionic attacks. And we still did get the corpse, even though we blew it up. And we got a bunch of different corpses here. Beautiful.
Commander, having these two soldiers continue to work together has paid off. They know each other well enough at this point that we can have them train as a pair for additional tactical capabilities.
So I am going to bond these soldiers. Once people kind of like work together on missions, this can happen, and it's always worth doing. I'm just going to click bond, and now you can get this benefit, which says grant an additional action point to a bond mate. Has a single charge shared between bond mates. You can use this basically once per mission. You can just give somebody one more action. This can turn tide of battle. It's a huge boost. And we will create a custom poster, of course.
Commander, the media is a powerful tool. Just ask Advent's propaganda machine.
I mean,
say it's time
look at
we
this.
turn it against them. By spreading the word of our soldiers' exploits in combat, we can bolster morale throughout the resistance.
Look at this poster. Rough Riders, and she's like, hellevacking her out. This is awesome. Yeah, Let's put this poster everywhere. Sweet. All right.
Now that we've got some help, we can start clearing out the old equipment and debris from the ship to make room for new facilities.
So now we got a new engineer, and they can begin clearing out alien debris. So what do you mean alien debris? Well, this ship is reverse engineered tech, and we haven't actually removed all of the alien stuff out of this base that we're using that was once an alien base. And so you need to build more rooms on your base. You start with some cleared out, but all of these right here in this 3x4 grid are blocked with debris. So if we click on this,
To clear out these rooms, first we'll need to assign an engineer to the task. Once we start getting into the far reaches of the ship, it's going to take more time and manpower to make space for new facilities.
so what this means is the facility, we can't use it now, it's all filled up, but when we do clear it out, we get 30 supplies. So we're going to excavate it, but we can't until we put an engineer. So we have to click on this top center button, and then we can select Susan Alexander, who's an engineer notified by this cog icon. You click
Looks
her.
good to me. Just give the word and we'll get started, Commander.
Once that's there, you can then, the button turns green, and you can
It's underway, Commander.
start it up.
It's going to take some time to get all that stuff cleared out.
Commander, we have a secure
Indeed.
transmission coming through. Source unknown. Patching it through to your quarters.
So it's going to take 5 days to get that done. And now we have a secure transmission coming through. Now, we'll take a look at this secure transmission in the next episode. This is a good place to stop. We completed another mission. We're working on engineering projects, getting new soldiers, promoting soldiers, and making progress with our full base and team in XCOM. Everyone, I hope you're finding this series to be useful and fun. I'll check you in the next episode. Take care.